Is your diet sabotaging your chances of losing body fat and toning up? Are you eating the wrong foods and therefore stopping your body from being able to melt away body fat and being able to build muscle tissue? There's a very strong likelihood that that's exactly what's happening for you. Ever since I've started coaching, I've reviewed over 500 women's diets, and these are the most common things that I see them doing wrong. Ever since we fixed these things, not only have they seen amazing differences in their body shape, but they've also felt fuller than ever before, had the least amount of cravings, and even seen drastic improvements in their lifestyle and sleep quality. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the 5 main things that I've seen women doing wrong with their diets and how you can fix them to make sure that you avoid making the same mistakes. Now, the first most common mistake that I was seeing all of my clients making in the start of their journey was they were trying to eat little and often. What they have been told before in the past, and you've probably been told the same thing, is that you need to make sure that you're eating little and often throughout the day to make sure that you keep your metabolism ticking over, that you're constantly burning calories. Because if your body stops having food regularly supplied to it, it's going to go into starvation mode. It's going to think, right, I don't know where this food's coming from next. I need to hold on as much body fat as I possibly can. Chances are that is exactly what you've been doing, because like I said, that's what all these women were doing and believed was true. But this is complete lie. This is so false, and it's not true. Your body won't go into starvation mode just because you're not eating little and often. And actual fact, like eating little and often is probably the worst thing that you can do for feeling full. Because what happens is when you eat little and often, you never actually stretch your stomach. So what tends to happen is you give a little bit of food to your stomach, it fills it up ever so slightly, but after a couple hours pass, you start getting to that empty sensation again, that feeling that you need something. And what this does is it gets your stomach to send a signal to your brain that, like, right, we're nearly empty. We need some more food. We need some more fuel. Otherwise, we're going to be hungry, right? And what this does is it gets your cravings higher. It gets your need for carbohydrates higher, because it basically wants your body to be searching for food and eating more. Whereas if you was to have larger meals throughout the day, instead of small and often, what would happen is you would be filling your stomach a lot more. So even after a couple of hours pass, what happens is your stomach's still half full. Therefore, your stomach never sends that signal to your brain that we're nearly empty and we need more food. So one of the worst things that you can do is try and eat very little calories often throughout the day. Instead, you want to combine those calories together and try and eat bigger meals spaced out across the day to help you stay fuller for longer. Once I fixed this for my clients, not only did they never struggle, well, I say never, they didn't never struggle with cravings again, but they saw a significant reduction in the amount of cravings they were getting and the amount of hunger they were experiencing while on a diet. So this is definitely one of the things that you want to fix to be able to move forward and progress with your diet. Okay, the second thing that was most common in these women's diets was they were simply not eating enough protein. I can't tell you how many came to me saying that I'm definitely eating enough protein, I'm really focused on eating as much as I can, but when I reviewed their diet, simply there wasn't enough protein. Like, there just simply wasn't. What was a common theme was eating a lot of protein to them was having like a big portion of chicken or something in the evening and then potentially having like a protein shake in the day. This is nowhere near enough protein for you to be able to get the best results. That's probably about half the amount of protein you need. I'll be honest, like it probably is, and you need probably double the amount of this to be able to see the best difference and be able to be as full as possible on your diet. I know how hard it could be to try and increase your protein, and that might sound overwhelming that you need to be eating more than that, but I promise you, you will be able to. It just takes time, and it takes little adjustments through your diet over a period of time to be able to get to that place. What every woman should be doing is roughly aiming for 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're around 150 pounds, you probably want to be aiming between 120, maybe 160, 70 grams of protein per day to be able to meet your requirements to, one, not only stay full and satiated so you don't feel hungry and your stomach stays stretched and full, like we talked about in point 1, but secondly, this is going to be the amount that you need to be able to start building muscle, to be able to start seeing new shape development to your shoulders, your arms, your legs, all these sorts of things. If you're not getting enough protein in, you're not going to be full enough to be able to stick to lower calories, and you're also not going to be giving your body enough protein to be able to start really building some muscle tissue. Now, another common theme, the third common theme, I should say, along these women's diets was trying to eat diet foods. Now, what I mean by this is every woman seems to get this into their head when they start a diet that, again, they have to eat really, really small amounts of food. And what typical women's go-to meals are something like a salad or a soup, because to them, that is low calorie, that is going to help them lose body fat, going to help them drop their weight because it's such a small amount of food and therefore it's diet food. But again, this is probably some of the worst foods that you can eat if you're trying to lose body fat and lose weight, because the same thing happens that is being a reoccurring theme here, that your hunger is just super, super high. Because let's face it, how much does soup fill you up? No one's sitting back after a soup and thinking, God, I feel so full now. I feel great. Like, that was amazing. No, it's always like, yeah, that was okay, but I just need something a little bit more. It hasn't really stretched my stomach. Or even if it has, I guarantee an hour, less than an hour later, you're going to want more food because there's no substance there, right? Substance, that's the right word, substance, right? There's no substance there, right? There's nothing there to fill and stretch your stomach. It's just liquid. How full do you feel after having, like, I don't know, water? Not very full, because again, it's liquid. And granted, soup is a little bit thicker, but still, it is liquid at the end of the day. So it's not going to do much to actually fill your stomach up. And it's the same with salads. Like, people don't put enough bulk into their salads to be able to stretch their stomach. It's really easy for your body to digest. So therefore, it doesn't actually stay in your system that long before you start feeling hungry again. Whereas if you was to have something like a chicken breast, let's just say, a potato and some vegetables, that's a lot more food for your body to digest. And it's going to be sat in your stomach for a longer period of time, because it's harder for your body to digest, but because it's sat in your stomach longer as well, it's going to keep you fuller for longer. So this is where you need to remove that mindset that you currently have of like, okay, I'm on a diet. I need to be really, really good. I eat low calorie foods. I need salads. I need soups. I need to be eating the smallest portions possible. Eating like a rabbit is often what I refer to.
Lovely food. For rabbits, that is.
Because again, that's just going to make sure that you're not staying full. It's going to ensure that you're always hungry, and it's going to ensure your cravings are super, super high, okay? So we need to be changing your mindset and mentality around what foods look like for when you're dieting from what it is right now to where it needs to be, and that's eating substantial meals going forward. Now, the fourth thing, and I guarantee you do this exact thing, because again, every single woman's diet that I've reviewed has done exactly this, and that is anticipating that you're going to be hungry later on because you eat the low calorie foods in the day. And therefore you need to save calories in case you get cravings and in case you want something later on. But it's saving those calories in case you get hungry later on that again is shooting you in the foot and making you want to eat more late in the evening. If you're trying to save calories just in case you get hungry later, you're going to be hungry later because you're not stretching and filling your stomach earlier on in the day, okay? So if you're having those calories but backing them to the end of the day, this is a sure way to make sure that, yeah, I need these calories, I need to eat foods, I'm gonna have all these cravings. Whereas if you was to take those calories that you're saving and put them into your breakfast, put them into your lunch and have meals that actually make you feel full and like, do you know what, I don't need any more food, you're not gonna get those cravings later on, because time you get to the end of the day, you're actually full, you're actually satisfied, as opposed to thinking like, okay, I'm really, really hungry now and all I've had is some soup and some salad and like, I want some flavor in my life. That, yeah, you're gonna end up using those calories, right? So again, we wanna change that. We wanna start using more calories earlier on in the day to keep you fuller as you get through the day. And therefore, when you get to the evening, you'll be okay. You won't have these cravings that you have to fight, and you won't have to try and save calories for yourself. And the fifth and final most common thing that I was noticing in these women's diets where they weren't eating enough fiber. Their fiber levels were very, very low. I'm talking around 15 grams or less per day. Whereas what you need to be consuming is around 30 grams. So they were under half the amount that they needed. Now, the reason that fiber is really important to be in your diet is, for one reason, just like protein, it keeps you fuller for longer. A high fiber diet slows down digestion, meaning that it stops your stomach from being able to send that signal to your brain that you need to be looking for more food. Not only that, but fiber stabilizes your blood sugar levels, it helps with a healthy gut microbiome, and also it is one of the healthiest foods that you can be eating in your day-to-day life. Studies have shown time and time again that fiber is one of the best foods that you can have to help prevent a lot of different diseases. Not only that, but I don't know if you've ever heard of the blue zones around the world, but there's basically 7 different hotspots across the world that are known for having the people that live the longest. And one of the common trends that they had was that they had a high fiber diet. So if you're not eating enough fiber, and again, this needs to be around 25-30 grams per day, this is going to massively shoot you in the foot and stop you feeling as full as possible. Again, a high fiber diet has been shown to really help with weight loss and fat loss because it keeps your cravings at bay and keeps you fuller for longer. So now you know the 5 main things that women get wrong with their diet. You can make sure that you go through these as a checklist to ensure that you're getting enough every single day. So just to reiterate, what you need to be doing is, firstly, you need to make sure that you're not trying to eat little and often. I would massively recommend trying to have bigger meals, more spaced out through the day, and ensuring that that's keeping you fuller for longer. The next thing that you want to be doing is making sure that you're eating enough protein per day, because I guarantee at the moment you're just simply not eating enough despite how much you think you are. Protein is, again, one of the most satiating nutrients that you can eat, so it's going to keep you fuller for longer. Not only that, but it's the only thing that can help you tone up and build more muscle. The third thing that you need to do is ditch that dieting mindset and mentality that you need to be eating these diet foods, such as having salads, such as having soups, trying to eat really little calories throughout the day and then saving them for later on in the day. Because again, this is going to be a massive mistake, and you're only going to end up with higher cravings and higher hunger. And then that final thing that you want to do is make sure that you're having a high fiber diet. Now, foods that are high in fiber, just to help you out a little bit more, is to make sure that you're having things like blackberries and raspberries. These are the 2 of the highest fiber fruits that you can be consuming day to day. Other things that you want to be looking out for is making sure that you're having more brown carbs. So whole grain and wholemeal types of rice, pasta, bread, these all have more fiber and more protein in again, which we know is going to help you keep fuller for longer. The best foods that you can have for fiber though are things like legumes. Chickpeas, kidney beans, like all those sorts of beans and stuff are going to be great for getting a lot of fiber in and therefore again keeping you fuller for longer. And I promise, once you make these 5 changes to your diet and you start doing it consistently, this is going to be the best thing that you can do to finally start helping you lose body fat, improve your nutrition, and also improve your lifestyle and quality of life from having a healthier diet too. If you've enjoyed this video and you've enjoyed finding out the most common mistakes that I find in women's diets, then you're going to love this video here, because in this video I talk about the main common mistakes that women experience in their training after I reviewed over 4,000 women's videos of them working out. These are the main things that I saw them doing wrong.